Welcome back to another episode of
Lil Pop Stars Podcast.
Podcast.
In this episode, we have Amber Ais from Nashville, and she's going to be talking to us about her upcoming single, Love Yourself, and her project, I Think I'll Always Love You.
Hi, everyone who's listening. I'm Amber Ais. I am a singer-songwriter based in Nashville from Boston. I started making music when I was I guess I started writing songs when I was like in elementary school. I was a little bit of a loser and I was really bad at sports. To this day, I still am bad at sports, but I'm good at writing because when I was in elementary school, I would take a journal outside and write songs, which is like super lame because everyone's like playing kickball and I'm just like being moody, being moody on the slide with a notebook. Why am I doing that? And that's like basically the start of everything. I like really wanted to be a musician like my entire life. Like there's nothing else I've ever wanted to do. I went to college for music. I have a degree in songwriting, and I put out my first project in 2017. And I've just kind of been hustling, putting out music, trying to keep up with the industry and all those things. Like ever since then, it's been like a long, hard journey, but it's been really fun. I feel like I'm in a space where I really like the direction my music is going in. So I'm excited to talk about it more and talk about um, the journey I'm on.
Nice.
So every episode we like to start off with the thing called Lil Pop Quiz. We're gonna ask
Mm,
you like questions and just answer them as fast as you can.
okay. I don't know if I'm nervous.
No pressure.
Okay, first question. What's a song that you've had on repeat?
Repeat. Another Life by SZA.
What is your favorite candy?
My favorite candy. Oh my gosh. I don't know why I'm like sweating. My favorite candy. My favorite candies. I don't know if this counts because it's chocolate, but a Reese's cup.
Yeah,
Yes.
that counts.
What's the first concert you ever went to?
The first concert I ever went to was the Ed Sheeran Multiply tour.
What is your favorite color?
Okay, my favorite color to wear is black, and then my favorite color to like look at probably is like a nice blush pink, like a pastel pink. So,
What is your favorite music genre?
ooh, that's so difficult. For sure, pop, but also like R&B. Like I could probably like both and.
Dream place to visit.
Dream place to visit. My dream, Paris for sure. France, not Texas. I had to specify.
And what is your favorite song you've released so far?
Ooh, that's a really good question. It's not that I don't like any of my music anymore, but like I feel like what I'm going to release is so much better than like anything. But the thing is, I feel like that about every release. But I guess like my favorite song that's out right now is definitely Crying Over Boys for sure. Getting too old to be crying over boys.
You were talking about how you kind of first started wanting to make
Hmm.
music. Is there a certain thing that kind of inspired you, or did you just kind of always have that passion in you?
I mean, I grew up singing a lot. Like my mom was the director of like the children's choir, so naturally she like made everybody do it. Like who was her child? She was like, everyone isn't going to do it, you know? So we were always singing, we were always making music in the house. But I'm not gonna lie, but when I watched Hannah Montana for the first time, I was like, no, yeah, that's me. I was like, no, yeah, like that's no, I'm doing that. Like, absolutely. Like that's me. And so I think that's kind of what like the catalyst was. Um, so if I ever meet Miley Cyrus, I'll be like, I owe you my life. I don't hope you know this.
Who would you say some of your favorite artists and like inspirations are?
For sure. Um, John Mayer. I know the Gen Zers don't really like him, but he's kind of the goat to me, honestly. he gets a bad rep, and I understand so because his like ego is like the worst thing on earth. But he's a great writer, great storyteller. SZA for sure. Um, I don't think there's any album she's put out. I don't think there's anything that she's put out that has beaten Control to me. Just a like beautiful body of work. I also think she has like an interesting way of writing and an interesting way of like using melody. Like, I don't know. I think every word she says is like has is an earworm a little bit. Like the way that she sings it, like the cadence in which she says it, like the delivery of it. Like anyway, sorry, I could talk about her for like hours. Julia Michaels, for sure. She's like the best pop writer ever. Like, I'm not even like trying to be funny, but like she is the best pop writer in the last 10 years. There has to be one more. Oh, Brandy. Am I dumb? Brandy Norwood, the vocal Bible. Are you insane? Absolutely. Absolutely. Brandy, John Mayer, goats. Like Brandy Norwood, the vocal Bible. If you guys have never listened to Brandy, she's the best singer on earth. They call her the vocal Bible. Like, like she is the best singer on earth. Like, I'm not even kidding. And then, like, if I want to be, and then Ariana Grande, just because I love her. I know that's controversial right now, but I love Ari.
You love her too.
She's just good. She's a great artist. Like, come on. The second she starts swinging that ponytail and whistling, I don't care. I don't care.
I think I write too many songs about you. I don't think my ink could live without you.
So you have quite a few songs you've released, and some of them are like a part of projects, and then some of them are standalone singles.
Right.
How do you decide like what is just a standalone single and then what goes on to one of the bigger projects?
It honestly, it just comes down to like what I'm doing at the moment, honestly. I think like I released Crying Over Boys, Be Together, and Green Eyes. In the and Don't Make It Hard.
Throw off your guard and fall apart on me. If you want love, don't make it
Those were all
hard.
actually supposed to be on a project. Just transparency, like my financial situation was just like weird. Like I just couldn't like release as often as I wanted to because my releases are pretty spaced out. Honestly, like there's 2 singles in 2022 and then 2 singles in 2023. And they were all supposed to be on like one project, but then I kind of like started writing a lot more and started writing more things. And I was like, wait, no, like these songs are like so much better. And so then I started feeling like, honestly, out of all the songs that I wrote for the last project I realized, honestly, like I released all I needed to. I released all my favorites, and I don't really need to work on that anymore. But this project, this new one, I love so much. Being an artist in this day and age, in the age of streaming, especially being indie, like you have to release all the time. You know what I mean? In order to like gain momentum. Even now, even bigger artists, that's why we have like 15 versions of like the Dead Poets Society. Like that's why we have like so many of them because you have to keep remaining relevant. You have to keep your streams up. You have to like do all those things. That's why people release deluxe albums. That's why people release a single after a whole album, after a whole tour. Like that's why we're doing it because of it's the age of streaming. Like you need to remain relevancy. It's harder when you're indie, but I don't know. I don't really have like a vision for every single. Sometimes I just kind of like, oh, I really like this song, and I'm gonna put it out. You know.
Right.
So you said you've been writing for a while. So how has your writing process changed over time?
That's such a good question. Okay, over time, kind of like take myself back to being like 8 years old with a journal on the playground. I mean, I didn't play an instrument for a minute. I mean, I guess I started playing guitar when I was like 15. So, how I really started writing songs was I'd bring out my guitar and I'd start just like noodling and like humming, and like if something really came to me, then I'd be like, okay, like this is an idea I'm going to flesh out. I find myself being a bit more of a lyricist than a melodic person. Like melody for some people is like really easy. But for me, sometimes it's not so easy because I have so much I want to say, but also like my brain isn't like in that space. Sometimes I just write down concepts, or like I write a whole chorus, no melody, and then I go with my guitar and try to find something that'll fit it. And sometimes that first draft it doesn't work, but then I'll just like keep working towards and keep working at it. Maybe change the chord progression up and really get in there. And then I'll like start flowing and it'll be like, oh, okay, so here's an idea. And there are some songs that come out in like 20 seconds, not 20 seconds, but like 20 minutes, like Love Yourself. I wrote that in like not a long time. I'm like teasing right now, but like Love Yourself, I wrote in like not a long time at all. Sometimes I just get like really sad and then someone will send me a track and I'll just start going crazy. I'll just like just be writing and writing and writing and writing. I've told my friends like this joke. I'm like, if you like lock me in a room with a microphone and interface and a beat, like I'm gonna give you an album and like just lock me. Like honestly, I wrote my whole album, my coming of age album, that I released in 2022. That was all written in quarantine, you know. And I know like quarantine was like hard for some people, but it wasn't for me because I was like, oh my gosh, I just get to write all day. Like this is the best day of my life. And I wrote so much. Like I wrote so many songs every single day and it was so fun. It really depends on the day. Like sometimes I co-write. I think I'm more open. I think I guess the thing that has changed is that I'm way more open at collaboration now. Before I would just solo write everything, but now I'm a lot more open to like co-writing and collaboration. I guess that's how it's like developed, you know. I'm not saying I don't play guitar anymore. I think sometimes I'm open to like top lining a little bit more. This is so funny, but like I'll like go on YouTube and I'll find like I'll search like SZA type beat or something and then I'll like illegally download it. And then put it in Logic and start writing to it. So that's like something I do as well now. Just because sometimes like the guitar can be so limiting that I'm like, I just need something different sonically. Um, so I feel like that's how it's changed a little bit over the years.
And with your album Coming of Age, is that something you always had seen as like an album, or did that sort of come together during quarantine with the different songs?
If I remember correctly, like I wanted it to be an album. I think I was in that time, I was like shedding a lot of things from like my past, which sounds funny to me. Because like what was my past? Like my exes, like what am I saying? So I think like I was just kind of in this space of being like, I think I really want to put out an album, you know. I was writing like all day, every day, you know, for like months, and then like going to my friend's house and like going to his studio and like recording everything. And I was just like, no, like let's do it. Let's do this record, you know? It all just kind of came together in that way.
How much things do you write that just sort of stay on the page and don't ever come something?
Like a lot, actually. I feel like there are so many songs that I have that I'm like, oh, that sucked. Or I'm like, I don't know if I'll put this one out or whatever. There's so many. I think that when an artist puts out anything, it's their best. You guys aren't there when we're having writer's block, or you're not there when we're ironing out an idea. We're not there. You're not there when we're like, I don't know. There are so many half songs in my phone because I don't think they're good enough to finish. And yeah, there's so many like so I can't even give you a number on how many songs. I just was like, that sucked. And again, like I think Julia Michaels said this before, where she was like, literally not everything you write is going to be a masterpiece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that that's like so true. And that's something that like I hold on to because I know not everything is going to be perfect or a masterpiece. So
Yeah. So Love Yourself is your new song.
yes.
What kind of led you to write that song?
My only advice is to love yourself.
Oh my God. It's like I was going through a breakup, but it was but it's also something that I'm still healing from because of like things that happen with this person. Um, and it's so interesting to be in that space to release something when you're still kind of like walking through it. It's hard to love people who don't love themselves. And like, it's really difficult to not place yourself in someone's life as a savior when you like really love them. I like knew I couldn't fix this person. I knew that like that's not my role, that's not my job. And if that person like wanted to like push me away because they felt like they didn't deserve me or like they felt like they weren't good enough or all those things, I just kind of had to let them. And that sucked. You know what I mean? There's like mutual love on both ends, but like if someone isn't like letting you like be there, you can't do much. So it's almost like a letter of being like, just promise me that you'll love yourself if you won't let me, you know? Just I'm always gonna love you. I'm always gonna want to be there for you, but like promise me that you're gonna love yourself before like anything else, you know?
Yeah.
And why do you think you chose this song to be the lead single for your upcoming project?
Hmm. I really love it. That's like the first and foremost. I really love it. And everybody around me really loves it, like really likes it a lot. And I don't know, I've gotten a lot of feedback on it and people are like, no, this song is gas. And also the project is called I Think I'll Always Love You. And there's a line in the song that says, I think I'll always love you. And I think it's a way for me to tease the project without like revealing everything, even though I'm kind of just revealing it right now. But I don't know. I just think it's a good song. So.
It is, yeah.
Thank you.
And I saw that, I don't know if it's like a music video or just kind of some other sort of video sort of thing going with it. What are
Yeah, there's a couple things coming, honestly. Like with every single or every project I put out, I try to like make sure visually there's something that goes with it.
mm-hmm.
I'm really into film, I'm really into TV, I'm really into like the way things look and telling a story through a visual because I think music and movie go hand in hand. My friend David Piersaul, he's like so good at he's just so amazing. We have like this synergy with like knowing what we want visually and like we understand like film and movies. Well, he understands way more than I do, but we understand film and movies, so we like want to make sure like visually things tell a story and that colors make sense and like I don't know. He's just great to work with.
And how do you think I've Always Loved You been different from other projects previously?
I think sonically it's definitely different. It's different. It's still me, but it's definitely different for sure. I think it's more mature sounding. I think there are things that I talk about on this record that I don't. I mean, of course, I'm talking about my exes and in love and all those things, but I think because I'm still like walking through these things and still like healing from them, it's a bit more vulnerable. I don't know. I think maybe it's because I just like love these songs a lot more. That it feels different and feels like I don't know. It feels like this is me right now, and I like that a lot.
So the first time I saw the title being Love Yourself, I assumed it was like about like
Like
you
self-love.
personally. Right. Is there
Right.
any part of it that is, or is it more completely directed at other people?
No, I don't think it's about me. I don't think it's about self-love or self-realization or any of that. I think um this song is like so direct.
hmm
It's I think the first verse specifically is so honest. It can't be about anything else. It's almost like when you like really love somebody, so you have to like kind of tell them about themselves a little bit. You got to read them
Mhm.
or like and that's what I feel like the song is. I feel like the song is like I'm just reading you right now. And I wanted it to be that because it's like the first line is are you tired of running out of cliches? Like that's so like it's just a punch to the gut immediately. Like I would never say that to myself. Like, I would never, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's just too honest for it to be about anything else to me.
And so with like the other songs in this
Mhm.
project, are they, you don't have to give too much away, but like, is it kind of a similar vibe to Love Yourself, or is there some other vibes?
Like, what kind of vibes are on this? I think there's definitely pop elements sonically. There's definitely like a little bit of R&B elements in there as well, which I feel like Love Yourself is as well. Um, I think you guys can expect a lot of like cool vocal production and a lot of dope like vocal layering. Um, there is one song on there. I'm not gonna say too much about it, but there is one song on there that is about me. Um, it's about the fear that I have with being vulnerable and what and how that feels sometimes. It's something I've been, kind of like walking through in the last year or trying to like break out of. But being vulnerable is really scary for me and really hard. And so I do have one song on the record that is about that. So not all the songs are about my exes. Some of them are just about, or well, not some, just one. One of them is about me, for sure.
And in what ways have you grown as an artist?
Oh wow, what a question. What ways have I grown? I mean, like I said before, I think sonically, I've definitely gotten out of like, not there's anything wrong with it. I've like branched out of that like glittery pop, sugary kind of vibe.
hmm
Um, I don't know how I've grown. I think I've gained traction with some people. I think people really like my stuff now. Not saying that they didn't before, but I feel like I'm getting a much better feedback these days, or people seem to be interested in what I'm doing, which is fire. Um, I've been playing a lot more shows, meeting a lot more people, writing with people. I think something that caused me to grow is writing with other people. Um, I've been listening to a lot more music, so I'm trying to think like about how other people write as well. I think I'm challenging myself in that way. I don't know. I think even subject matter, like I would have never written a song about me and my, I guess in a way, my version of toxicity, like what makes me flawed, what makes me, um, but yeah, I would have never written about my my flaws or my vulnerabilities or my insecurities. I would have never written a song like that years ago. I don't know. Songwriting is like a mirror on the page, you know? It's
hmm
whatever's going on inside of you looking back at you. Um, and so I think I'm just being a bit more honest as a writer, which I think is cool.
And so you were talking about collaborating and how you started to do that a little bit
Mhm.
more. How do some of those songs come about? Is that something where, like, I assume you would reach out to someone and then do you
Mhm.
usually write those songs with the person
Right.
you're singing with, or do you kind of solo write and then they hop onto the song?
It really depends. When I wrote Green Eyes, this is just the example that I have because it's like my most recent collaboration. But when I wrote Green Eyes, I just had this concept in my phone. In my phone, I wrote, "My baby got green eyes. He a little jealous," which I thought was cool. Like it's like a double entendre, you know. And I was like, how am I gonna execute that? I think it's easy for me to collaborate when I'm like, I don't really know how to execute that, but I could find somebody who could help me. And so I brought it to this session and we started writing something else. And then I was like, oh, like I have this like lyric concept. And they're like, oh, what is it? And I was like, it says like my baby got green eyes, he a little jealous. And Caleb was like, yo, like that's fire. Like, let's write that. And I was like, okay, cool. So we wrote it and it was like so good. So some collaborations they just like come naturally. Like someone who helped me produce the song Reaching, which will be on the project. I don't know why I'm revealing so much. I need to learn how to keep a secret. I don't know. I'm telling everybody everything. Like nothing is even out yet. Like what's going on? Come on. I need to like shut up. But there's a song on there. Like I played like some of my collaborations come like randomly. Like I played a gig with this other artist named Devin Hayes, and he was like, I love that song that you performed. Can we is it produced or anything? And I was like, no. And he was like, do you want to like collaborate and like I could produce it for you, blah blah blah. And I was like, yes, absolutely, for sure. I don't know, it's just about like meeting people, and like if people, again, if your music is good, if your music will speak for itself, people will naturally come to you. I rarely like ask people to collaborate, which I probably should do more. But it it's like your music will speak for itself.
And so you mentioned live shows.
Yeah.
When did you start like performing live? I guess you talked about in the choir, so I guess it's been a while.
I mean, I guess like that, but I started performing my own songs when I was in high school, like
Mhm.
15. It was so funny because I would like perform acoustically, and then like my guitar teacher was like, I could get a band for you, and then we would be in this dive bar with, and my band was like a bunch of 40-year-old dudes, and yeah, my parents were like so excited about it. They were like, oh my gosh, like you're so good. And I was just, dude, she's like, are these your friends? These are not my friends, mom. That is a 40-year-old man. Why would I be friends with him? Are you insane?
When you're performing your own songs, does like the way you perform differ from when it's like other songs somebody else wrote? Because I imagine it's a lot more vulnerable that singing your own songs in front of people.
That's actually not hard for me. I think singing my own songs is easier than singing somebody else's,
Mm.
because like if I sing a cover and it's a popular song, everybody knows that song. I have to do it justice, you know. If it's my song, no one really knows it. You know, if I mess it up, people won't really get it. People won't know that I messed up except for me, unless like you listen to my music so much that you like know that I messed up.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm singing a cover, like I want to sing it well. I want to make it my own. I want to make sure that I sound good. I don't want it to be bad. Like maybe I could make different choices or all those things. Like if it's a song that I didn't write, I want it to be just as good as the song that I wrote. You know what I mean? Um, and so I put a lot of pressure on myself, which like I shouldn't, but I put a lot of pressure, which is why I don't really sing covers often. I feel like, and especially now with like the age of the internet, like when someone does a cover, it has to be like the most perfect, beautiful cover with all these runs and like these vocal inflections. Like it has to be the most perfect version of a cover, you know, that like I kind of just hate doing it. But I don't find singing my own songs hard. I think I should be able to sing my own songs, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Are there any other small artists you want to highlight?
yes, my best friend Kayla Thompson. She's so good. Love her to death. He's not small. Well, he's on the come up. He's a rapper in Nashville. His name is Tim Gent. I think he's like incredible. His wife Jamiah, she's great. She's incredible. Great vocalist, great writer.
Is Nashville where you've always been, or did you kind of start going there once you started making music?
I lived in Boston for the majority of my life. That's where I'm from. Um, and I moved here in 2021. And oh God, sorry, I just realized how long I've been here. I was like 2021. Good Lord. Um, it'll be 4 years. Ooh, it'll be 4 years in August. That's so insane. What the hell? What the heck is going on? Golly. Um, it'll be 4 years in August. And no, I didn't really picture myself being here. I thought maybe I would live in LA, but Nashville seems like a good spot to develop being a writer. And it also feels like the industry is tangible.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else with like your upcoming single and project that you want to share?
It's a really good project, if I do say so myself.
Yes.
Yeah, I just think it's really special and I like it a lot. I know I wrote it, but it feels really, really good.
Yeah,
So,
it is. Well, from what we've heard,
Yeah.
it is
yeah.
good.
Thank
So
you.
we're excited to hear more, and we're excited for other people to hear it. I think lots of
Yeah.
people are gonna like it.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Love Yourself comes out January 31st, and if you're listening to this after January 31st, it's already out, so you should go listen to it.
So that wraps up another amazing episode of Lil Pop Stars
Podcast.
See you next time.
My only advice is to love